Hi guys, today I'll be showing you how to create this health bar that kind of shows the accumulated damage done to the enemy and then decreases it from the overall health. You can find this sort of health bar in games like Darksouls or Arknights, and today I'll be showing you how to create it in Godot 3.1. So I'll be starting with a blank project. You don't have to, you could implement this into your already created game. But the first thing we're going to want to do is to add a canvas layer to sort of hold the progress bar for now. And the next thing we're going to want to do is actually just add the progress bar. If you wanted like your own custom progress or health bar, you could use the textured progress. But since I don't have any textures, for now I'll just use the normal default progress bar. Even with the default progress bar, we can customize it a bit. So I like to remove the percentage, and then for the custom styles, I like to check both foreground and background and set them both to style box flat. And for the foreground, we can set it to red or something to indicate like health, and to actually see the bar on top, we set the value to 50 just to show it. And for the background, this is important. For the background of this health bar, make sure that the alpha value is 0, because we're going to actually add another progress bar underneath this one, and that's going to be the yellow one that kind of shows the accumulated damage done. So to add the other bar, all we have to do is duplicate this progress bar. You can do that in Godot with Control D, and then child it to the original one. And make sure that you go to visibility and click show behind parent so that this progress bar appears behind this red one. And this is going to be the yellow one that we saw in the example. So going back to custom styles, make sure that click this arrow over here and click make unique for both the foreground and the background. If you don't click make unique, then the changes that you do over here will also affect your original progress bar, and you don't want that. So for this progress bar underneath, we'll set the background first. Make sure that the alpha value is at full, if that's what you want for your game. And I like to set it to a sort of grayish color. You can't really see it with the background here, so get a bit lighter. And then for the actual bar, we're going to want to make that some kind of yellow. And to actually see it on the example over here, we can set the value to 60. Make that a little darker. Yeah. Alright. And just save the scene real quick. And now the next thing we're going to want to do is to add a script to our progress bar to actually code in the functionality. There's many ways to do this, but this is the one that I discovered, so I'll show you how to do it now. So I like to delete these comments before I do anything. And yeah. So the first thing we're going to want to do is add a set bar value function that accepts an integer or float or something just to set the value of the progress bar. And this can either decrease or increase the amount of health on the bar. And after we've created this function, we just want to override the value of this progress bar with the value to set. So that just changes this number to whatever number is passed into this function. But for the progress bar beneath it, the yellow one, we want it to stay kind of at the original value for a while and then decrease to meet the red bar. So to do that, we can just click the progress bar and add a new scene or add a new node, and we could just add a timer node. And in this timer, set one shot to true to make sure it only runs once and not continually. And this wait time will be the amount of time it waits at that value before coming back down and decreasing to meet the red bar. So I think 0.5 or 2 is a good value for this. And then now we're just going to want to start the timer. So this timer node, we're going to want to come here and click it, and click on this node tab right here, and click on this timeout signal, and just connect it to this progress bar. Don't connect it to the canvas layer. Be sure that you're connecting it to the progress bar node. And it doesn't matter what the method is named. But as soon as this essentially means that as soon as the timer runs out, this function will be called. And after the timer runs out, what we want to happen is we want the yellow bar to decrease to meet the red bar. In order to do that, this is my method of doing it. We set process to true, and in this process code is actually where the code to decrease the yellow bar to meet the red bar is going to be. But setting the process to true, that means initially we want the process to be set as false. So in the ready function, be sure to write set process false. Alright, now the process is where the actual code for decreasing the yellow bar will be, so we'll just create that function right here. And this is the function that's called every tick of the game. So there's two ways of doing this. I'll show you both of them. Each of them lead to a different effect. I tend to like the one I'm about to show you more though. So what we're going to want to do is grab the value of the second progress bar, this one, or the yellow bar. We're going to want to grab that value, and we're going to want to set it equal to a linear interpolation of that value towards the value we already have, or a linear interpolation of that value and the value of the red bar. And we can just set the weight to 0.1. Changing this value right here will just change the speed at which the yellow bar meets the red bar, but I like 0.1. And we're going to want to stop the process when the yellow bar gets close to the red bar. So to do that, we just add an if statement checking if the progress bar to.value minus the current value of the red bar is less than or equal to 0.5. And if that is true, then we can just set the progress bar value equal to the value. And then set process false so that it stops, so that this process stops running. And save. And to test this, we could just add a button. And go back to node and signals. We can just connect this pressed signal to the progress bar. And in this function, we could just do set bar value, and then just the current value minus 10 or something. And if we test this right now, we should see that it works as we intend. Now that we've completed our health bar, we can go to the progress bar and set the default values to be 100. And now if you try running it, you should see that the health bar works completely as intended. Except there's still one issue. If, let's say you wanted to heal the person and, or heal whoever is using this health bar, it would set the value of, it would still work, but the yellow bar wouldn't reset. So in order to fix that, all we want to do is add this if check statement right inside of the set bar value. So if the value to set is greater than the value of the yellow progress bar, if the value to set is greater than the value of the yellow progress bar, then we can just directly set the value of the yellow progress bar of the new value to set. And now this just resets the bar after the health decreases to 0. So now we can see that the resetting the health bar, the yellow bar is still there and works as intended. Now, I said that there was a second way to do this, and I'll show you how to do it now. Progress bar .to.value and decrease it by a consistent number, let's say 0.8. Just keep on decreasing it by 0.8, and I'd also add this check right here. Except instead of progress bar to.value minus value, we just want to delete this part over here. We want to check if the progress bar value is less than the value. And this should also work, but with a slightly different effect on the yellow bar. See, the transition is a bit more linear when compared to this one, as it decreases as the yellow bar decreases in speed as it approaches the red bar. As I'll show you now. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for this health bar. The last thing you're going to want to do is to right click this node right here and click Save Branches Scene. And what that does is it just creates a new scene with only this inside of it, only with this health bar inside of it. So if you wanted to add it to anything, you could just click on this connect button and instance a child scene of the progress bar. You have another one, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video and maybe want to see more, please consider subscribing. Thank you.